say one thing to my wife at home.
We just watched the first 6 minutes of Rocky 3. Why is that so important to you? What is so telling about that scene that relates to your life?
Is it possible that one guy with no connections, just hard work, kept focused, doing the same thing every day, even every day everyone called him a bum, no good, had no idea that his luck was about to change by having another prize fighter want to take a chance with a bum in a city where he needed support. And that guy took that information and not only got his ass beat the first time, but wanted to come back again and do it twice. And the only way that worked was complete balance. He had his wife, he had his trainer, and he had his family behind him. And in life, you can't just win on the field and not off the field. And when he won that match, or when he won that fight, first person he thanked was his wife, because she was his inspiration behind everything. She was the one telling him that he could be great. And if you don't have that support, you gotta find that support, because it's a lonely road trying to build success. And whenever I win, or you win, or any of these people win, first thing I do is I thank my team. I thank my family, because the sacrifices that are made are unbelievable.
Well, you've already won. You've got money. You got enough money to not work again. You got a beautiful home. What makes you keep wanting to win again? Why do you keep doing it?
Why do those guys, the Rolling Stones, why are they going to go on stage at 75 years old and tour? It's because they love it. It's not the money. It's because the fans want to hear what they have to say. They want to see them out there. I love learning. At the end of the day, I know only as much as I knew yesterday. And there's so much more to learn today and tomorrow. And if you constantly put yourself in front of new opportunities and new ideas, you're going to learn. The day you think that you know more than everybody else is the day they put you in the grave. Because what was successful for us back in 2005 or 2010, the world's changed, the way to go to market's changed, what consumers want to eat has changed, and surrounding myself with the people who can give me intuition or ideas to create the next best products for the next generations is what gets me excited. The money is great, I won't lie. It's nice to win with cash at the end, but it's more exciting creating new categories.
So what's more difficult? Taking your product into an established food category or creating your own category with a unique product? Because you've done both, right?
Yes. So sometimes finding something that's already out there is harder because it's not easy to fix what's necessarily broken. And sometimes you'll see a brand that's doing 10 million in sales and they're either doing it in the wrong customer, or their margins aren't correct, or their packaging needs some help, and the founders don't want to change that, or the retailer just can't raise price. You've learned that this is the price elasticity, and if you go in blind or dumb that, hey, I can change all this without doing the proper diligence, you can get hurt. The beauty about OWYN was that the founders were smart enough to recognize that they didn't have much money. They created a fabulous liquid. They had a great name, but they needed a partner who can take the rest of the pieces, build the margin, build the brand swell, build the social media, and then get a team that can execute on and off the field. So to answer your question,
It's two different answers.
They're both challenging. I love creating white space.
Yeah.
I love showing a path to a Mondelez or to a B&G or a Halen that they could bring in new users, new customers, and it's something that they never thought would be.
Yeah.
You know.
But right now, you're kind of feeling like, hey, if I find a product out there that tastes good, right, and I believe it's a smaller brand and I could take a chunk of that business, I can blow them up. Isn't that your thought process now going forward?
Yeah, I mean, look, when I first started, I had a great idea, I had a vision, but I gave away a lot of that company to get insight. My whole theory is 1 + 1 = 3. And I would surround myself with people that were smarter, but also had relationships that if I could walk in, would that relationship ultimately transfer to me? They don't know me. I have no credibility with this brand. At the time, there were no billboards, there were no ambassadors, there was no pizzazz. I learned right away that day that you need to have somebody on your team that can give some of that validity to an emerging brand. And when you invest in a serial entrepreneur like I did with Lance with Core, I didn't get the greatest valuation on this brand when I invested in it, but I was able to absorb so much knowledge in the beverage space and pair myself with his surroundings that when I launched OWYN, I had a basis of people in the industry that I can go to launch this much more successfully and strategically because I learned so much from a serial entrepreneur in beverage.
One of the common denominators we have is we both went to the University of Maryland. We both like to give back. Talk to him a little bit about Maryland and our alma mater.
You know, it's important to give back, and I say that because I went in it with, you know, trying to make myself feel better because I did well and I wanted to do it more as a way of saying, okay, like, you're supposed to do this. And I've gotten so much more out of it where I've been inspired by students. I've had students review things that we're working on. I've learned about what the consumer wants today. And they've asked, like you, they've sent me letters or talked to me. They've asked tough questions. And I know that the school really also appreciates when we come down there and help them teach their students how to navigate, because it is a tough world out there. And
what's next for Jason Cohen?
you know, I just love the fact that we're at a point now where a lot of great brands and a lot of humble entrepreneurs come to us with advice. We look at a lot of things, and if we can match great brand with great leaders, with founders that want to learn and evolve, we've got a tremendous infrastructure from sales, marketing, design, finance, operations that have been vetted through our system on 5 or 6 brands that have gone to 0 to 100 in 4 or 5 years. It's not just going to 0 to 100, it's actually believing it, right? And when you've seen it happen 4 or 5 times, like, people expect it.
Yeah.
So if we look at a brand, they're in their mind saying, what do I have to gear up to? Because I know once we turn the engine on, these guys are going all in. So it's partnering or positioning yourself with brands that believe that they can get there. It's not the guy who goes, well, I want to go from $1 million to $3 million to $5 million to $7 million. It's how do I get you from $1 million to 10 to 20 to 40 and out?